Hey guys, this is Dystopian Hellscape for yesterday, which is day 29. And there's a lot here, so I'm going to try to get through it as fast as I can. It's probably going to be in more than one part, but because there's a lot here. But first of all, today was Fuck the President Day, and thousands protested nationwide. Meanwhile, the president celebrated by doing what he does best, ignoring the public and spending taxpayer money on a fancy plane ride, because he did that. World leaders gathered in Paris for 3 hours of emergency talks, desperately trying to figure out if the U.S. just switched teams. After a diplomatic blitz that left Europe scratching its head, it seems America is eyeing the B team, Russia and China, like a kid ditching their old friends for the school troublemakers. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer tried to keep things together, basically saying, "We'll send troops, but only if there's actual peace," which is like agreeing to swim after the pool has been drained. Meanwhile, the top U.S. officials from the Trump administration showed up in Europe, giving their longtime allies the cold shoulder while seemingly warming up to the Kremlin, because nothing says stable foreign policy like confusing all your friends at once. The measles outbreak in Texas just doubled, while 1,300 CDC staffers got the boot, because who needs disease experts when you can manifest good health? At this rate, Texas might be one cowboy hat away from a full blown Oregon Trail reboot. Meanwhile, the CDC is probably updating its new policy. Just Google it. The U.S. Department of Energy is now worried that the Three Musketeers, not the candy, unfortunately, have access to their IT systems, because nothing says national security like giving sword wielding 17th century Frenchmen admin privileges. Meanwhile, a huge chunk of staff at the National Nuclear Security Administration just got fired, the very people in charge of keeping our nukes safe. So, to recap, fewer experts, mystery IT users, and nuclear weapons. What could possibly go wrong? All for one and none for cybersecurity. The Musketeers have somehow hacked into our confidential tax records, including bank accounts, because apparently all for one and one for all now applies to your savings account too. If I were you, I'd change bank accounts faster than a billionaire in a tax audit and maybe lawyer up. And if you can't afford to lawyer up, I'd go to www.suedoge.com. That's www.suedoge.com and check that out. Because nothing says legal credibility like a meme dog, in case you haven't seen the meme that goes with the. Oh, and 9,000 IRS employees are getting fired right before tax season. So if you owe money, maybe just file an extension and act confused. At this point, they might be too understaffed to notice or too busy fighting musketeer-based cybercrime. And there's more, but I will get back to you in a second part.